Alright, game versus the Red Wings. We start off this game's pre-game shenanigans, where we're putting away the pucks, and our off-screen villain, Ernest, decides to flip a puck at the back of Carrie Ann's head. Bonk! Oh goodness, oh goodness. Look at him giggling away. Let's go rewind this one more time. Slightly off screen. All of a sudden you see a puck. Choo! Bonker in the back of the head. Too silly. Alright, opening face-off draw. We got Ray, Kathy, Jess, Carrie Ann Thomas on the ice. Let's just watch it, see if there's anything noteworthy to mention. So, good breakout right here. Okay, I think one comment right here is how passes it to Ray, and Ray opts to come towards the boards, and this should be kind of an indication for Kathy to crisscross and go towards the middle. She briefly does like this, but then kind of cuts back towards like behind Ray, and again, try and like almost think of yourselves like magnets. If you can pull people towards you and give Ray some space, it will help a lot. And then we've kind of talked about in the past the 3-lane highway, at least going through the neutral zone. So occupy that lane, and then from there you can see, do I want to drive the net, whatever, etc., etc. Now at that point, once you crossed the blue line, and from what you see it makes sense for you to trail him, then do that. That's fine. But moving through the neutral zone, it's a great idea to, well, in my opinion, to occupy those different lanes and then pulling people towards you so that you don't clump up on one side of the ice. So let's continue. Not bad right there. Ray cutting towards the middle of the ice more. Again, right here. Good attempt. Yeah. Already the first shift, Ray has gotten more offensive chances than he had the entire of last game. Just from skating towards the middle of the ice. Okay. But yeah, now I guess it's Kathy's turn to kind of have the same problems that Ray had, where she's not threatening coming towards the middle, and so even though, you know, there's a fair amount of space to operate with, and decides to force a pass instead to nobody. Who is that to? To Carrie Ann? To the Red Wings, we'll just call it that. And then Ray went for the change. Yeah, that's fine. But yeah, good chances on this first shift. Alright, I thought this one was pretty funny. So, kind of a fancy skating, and then Dave and Thomas crashing each other. Big chance for number 21 on the Red Wings. I can't tell if it was, I think Thomas tried to backhand it up the boards, and then 21 blocked it, and that's why it floated out towards the middle, is my best guess. I couldn't quite see what happened there, and then yeah, again, in my opinion, if we're feeling a lot of pressure, skate it behind the net, and then make a decision from there. You can always also rim it around to your D partner. That's, you know, I think that's really if you're facing a lot of pressure. And then kind of last resort is up the boards. But nevertheless, that was pretty funny. This one was crazy. Fee's coming up. Dave really pulled the splits off there. Look at this. That was pretty impressive. A little bit of a drop pass there. Miscommunication. I think you might have been able to do the patented Fio and tight turn right there. Maybe a bit close to the boards. But yeah, whatever. It ended up working. Okay. So right here, Janice, if possible, you can, if you're struggling to throw it back down, there is maybe a possibility to just pass it to Fee because she's left-handed, and then she can throw it down for you. Otherwise, try to, the mistake here is you brought it to your forehand, so basically the puck is towards the middle of the ice. Now, if you can turn where the puck is towards the boards, it'll be a little bit easier to protect it. And in that way, sometimes you can actually just squeeze down the boards and not do anything. You can just keep the puck on your stick and skate it back in. Or otherwise, it's a little bit easier to throw the puck down the boards when you bring it towards the board. And I think they kind of knock it off. No. Well, kind of a turnover there. But yeah. Thought this one was defensively, we were pretty good. So Alex putting in good work, seeing them 37, sticking on with them, and then they reverse around, sees it, and does a good race, trying to get there. And he's following number 37, which is good. So it forces him to dump it back down rather than having firm control. So having our wingers on the D are excellent. Does a little stick lift there. Was that a panic pass by 44? Panic pass, yeah. And then a little turnover. Almost collided. Oh, Alex almost got the goal there too. Oh shoot, the puck is right there on the goal line. That's crazy. Oh boy. Jess and Alex on. Oh no. But fortunately we went for a change, and Ray's ready to be there to recover. So pretty good. Alex put in the hard work on defense there. So I still feel like there's some lost opportunities for Justin to skate it more. It's more, you know, more examples of he's deferring to faster skaters, but we know Justin can skate with, you know, he's got some legs on him. We've seen it in the past when he's trying to break for those breakaways. And here's a pretty good example. Yes, we could say Dave has got more speed, but I think in my argument is that Justin's kind of roughly in the middle of the ice, lot of space for him to operate with, moving at least to the right. And I feel like he could have probably skated a fair amount and then draw the players deeper. And the way he passed it also kind of almost was just a bit behind Dave. Like, I get the idea. It was just a little bit behind. It was quite behind. Look at how, like, Dave's probably needs an exorcism with how much his body is twisting. And it could have you know, if it missed him, it's a turnover back the other way. Whereas I feel like Justin had a lot of room to work with, and to skate it in. And I think this paints a pretty, right here, painted a pretty clear picture of how much open space. Like, I think Justin, you probably could have bring it out, and you probably do a pretty good job defending it. Like, well, not defending, protecting the puck, and then dishing it off. It probably set Dave up for more success. I feel like there's another example coming up. Yeah, good forechecking pressure there. Ugh. Maybe it's here. So you get it, skate with it, skate. I get it, I get your idea, but I feel like, and we've seen Justin being able to make some fancied angles before to bring it out wide. Perfect example was against the Turtles, where he deked out Zdeno Chara, versus, I don't know, I maybe it's a good pass to feed him to split the D. But it's also, you know, the really tough one is we're at the blue line, so it's not really catching Jess with speed coming in. We could there's a possibility there, Jess, if right here, you see how you came to a stop. It really slowed down. If you start coming across quickly, gliding across the blue line, then there's a possibility. So rather than stopping, you just maintain the glide along the blue line. But yeah, it kind of remains the same. I think Justin needs to skate with the puck a little bit more, rather than always dishing it off on the neutral zone. Alright, so Red Wings are coming in. Thomas breaks up that play perfectly fine, peels off, and right now someone should be covering this player and someone should be covering this player. Likely scenario based on how, like, contextually, let's rewind it a little bit. Once Thomas peeled off from that player, stopping that play, and Carrie-Anne switched on, Thomas should be basically coming back and identifying who we matching up with. And with Dave being closest to 37, that means Thomas should be probably coming for number 4. And if we did that, this doesn't happen right here. Big chance for number 4 on the Red Wings for her to score. And then we could also make the argument, because Jess is helping out in the slot area rather than covering the D at this moment in time, that if she's going to help, she's got to like identify that, hey, this person's not guarded right now, that's on me. And so Cliff makes the save, and Thomas also falls on top of him. Carrie-Anne passes it up to Jess, catches it on her backhand up the boards. Fantastic. This was a great pass to Kathy. Ooh, almost snipes it on the far side as he's sliding across. Pretty good pass. Let's see how the rest of the shift continues. Sends it down. Okay, I remember this one. It was pretty funny. And so the first thing I wanted to kind of point out was the number of give and goes that Jess and Ray did, and it really kind of puts Kathy in a tough pickle. So I think the first one, so Jess gives, and then boom, there's 2 pressuring her immediately, and the third one possibly. And yeah, it's possible that Kathy's able to feed one out front for Jess. Doesn't quite happen with all that pressure right there. And then, so there's a big lump of players already in that zone. And because of that, they're still kind of there. So when Ray sends it back down low, and everyone's like, more players are also already starting to cover around Jess. So Ray goes for the give and go as well. You can see how like it's just a lump of players around Kathy. So I thought that was pretty funny. What could we have done differently? Certainly, I think Ray could have opted to skate it up the circle, you know, move it to Carrie Ann, skate it to the middle himself. Those are some options, because yeah, if he was able to see how like this lump of Red Wings players are so deep, that should mean to him that this area of the ice is going to be kind of opened up for him. Nevertheless, that's fine. And the other thing for Kathy as well, if she sees that, you know, that's not going to happen on this side of the ice, like she sees all these Red Wings in front of her face, this is probably the time for her to identify, hey, this side of the ice it's too busy. Let's jump over here and open it up. Like, let's move the puck around. Let's open up the space a little bit, right? And then so we can transition over. That's perfectly fine, but clearly there's too many over here. And so one easy way is just switching sides of the ice. So let's continue. Not sure if more happens. There you go. Now we move to the right, and immediately look at how much space opens up. Boom. And let's see how this operates. Pass up to Thomas, sends it back down low, gathers it up. Now it's way open. The space is way open. And I said to Ray on the bench, make sure you tell Kathy that you're behind her. You can kind of see really open. You can just say, Kathy, boom, backhand pass, and then Ray, you can start skating the middle. Instead of this forced pass, which kind of unfortunate. I kind of get it. I imagine you're trying to go for Jess, but we know we've talked about how 3 Red Wings, this is definitely being a little bit too ambitious, and so it ends up being turnover. But you guys were doing a good job before, and I think there's definitely room for improvement here. Alright, right here is another rush. Great pass across, taking it wide. I think here is a perfect demonstration of, in the past, I've kind of seen Kathy gravitate, kind of skating up in this path. In this case, she's staying wide, which is, in my opinion, fantastic, because, boom, you can see all these Red Wings on this side of the ice, and now Kathy has a lot of room to operate with. Now, I feel like right here, she just hucked it across. Nobody's there. And we could say if she did the patented Fion tight turn, for some reason I'll just give her the trademark because she's been the one that's doing it the most. Boom, tight turn back up the ice. Could pass it to Thomas. Could go around the circle. Could do lots of things. Could even just tight turn back down, do a little figure 8. I think that would probably delay enough time for the teammates to get open rather than hucking it across. Oh, that was a nice play. See, and then here's another example of comparing to last week where Ray looked like he's snoozing, not doing anything, not creating anything. Just the act of Ray bringing the puck to the middle of the ice slot, given the space that he was given from the Red Wings, it draws players. You got a magnet, drawing in 3 players. and so he's able to do some fancy dancy stuff. He doesn't have to shoot, and next thing you know, boom, puck's out in front of the slot. Big shot, big rebound for Jess, couple of chances, and then reset. So perfect. That was perfect demonstration of Ray just moving the puck to the middle of the ice, and it creates chances. You know, and that play right there, infinitely more chances generated than what Ray generated last game. So funny enough, I was giving Justin shit for not skating the puck. Boom, takes it puck wide, and he skates it up. Big dangle, just couldn't quite complete it there. Lost the puck there. That's fine. That's fine. But right, that's good chance. If he was able to just gather it right there, feed it to Dave, boom, breakaway, semi breakaway there. Good chance. Good chance. Liked it. And it all stems from what? Justin skating the puck. So I thought this shift was pretty good. Right here got a little confusing, but we sorted it out pretty quickly after that. I think the good thing I kind of wanted to identify was, notice how the moment, not quite right about here, we can see Alex has got a ton of pressure, like, and his back is basically turned. He's got 1, 2, a lot of people in the slot, and it's basically, this is the identifying point that, hey, we can't slay in the slot right now. We need to help out Alex. Ideally, one of us probably should have been on that half wall, but Fion's there, so that's kind of fine. It probably won't be enough time for one of us to go all the way here at this point. And we saw Jess hustles down there, and we don't want to occupy the same spot, so at that point we just kind of space out. So Jess is there, half wall, and then that's fine. And then from there, because the puck has moved from left to right, Alex can probably operate and switch to the slot, and we'll form the triangle in a pretty short manner. And I think we do. I think the only thing was that I couldn't quite tell if it was like the pass was too quick or whatever. It kind of bounced off Alex's stick and rolled in rather than him being able to gather it. And it could have been that this player did a little slight stick lift, kind of annoyed him a little bit, and wasn't able to get it cleanly. And I think potentially, rather, you see how Alex kind of stops up right there, potentially maybe he could have cruised a little bit further and gotten closer towards myself, and that might buy him a little bit extra space, a little bit extra time, possibly. This is just probably nitpicking at this point, but let's see. It didn't quite get it. Alex does a good hustle, gets it up. I think, in my opinion, if you're able, one thing that Alex should work on next is being able to, the moment he gathers the puck, like right here, he should have done a pre-scan, looked up the ice, where can I pass to at this moment in time. And if he saw that, I think getting that quick pass to Fion earlier would save him a lot of trouble. And you'll kind of see right here, he carries it until it gets poked off, and then it gets to Fion, and that alone could have probably costed, a breakaway right there. And that is, let's call it what, starting from here, right, pause, 34, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi. So 3 seconds, where it's just if he cuts 2.5 seconds, 2 seconds by passing earlier, this, like, the chance of losing the puck right there would probably be completely eliminated. So I think for Alex is if he's able to identify passes before gathering the puck, it's going to speed up his game a lot. But otherwise, we had a couple of good chances right there, and I thought that shift was pretty good. All right, this play, it's funny enough, I told Ray, hey, make sure you tell Kathy that you're behind. And I think one part to that is make sure you're open before you say that. And if you think back to when I said Ray should let Kathy know that he's behind, he was completely open. Nobody was around him. And this time, 21 is near him, 37 arguably also kind of close to him. And so if you said, hey Kathy, I'm behind you, he's putting himself in a tough spot versus right here, Kathy's got a lot of room to operate with herself. And we could say Derek Hanna's not playing her very hard. So yeah, Ray certainly handcuffed himself a little bit there. But almost a good recovery, but not quite. This one was a nice move. Bank pass from Thomas up the boards. Kathy doing some fancy pirouette spin moves, possibly learned it from Dave. Trickled along the goal line. I forgot who said it on the bench, but if Ray was a little bit quicker, caught snoozing a little bit, maybe he could have banged it home. Oh, unfortunate, but it was a good move, good chance. All right, here, this one's a tough one. To get this past to Janice, we'll explain why right about here. So, Janice, ideally we want to get you over to the boards, just starting the basic, like to start. And the big reason, and actually we'll rewind. So for defense, where you are is fine. You're like staying close to the D. The moment you see one of our teammates gets the puck, get to the boards. And the big explanation is once you get to the boards, you can turn around and like put your butt up against the boards and you can see the ice. You can scan in every direction. You can kind of turn and shift. And it makes receiving the puck a lot easier. And if the puck comes up the boards, you can just scoot your skate like up against the board. So let's do a little diagram. Here's the boards and your foot. And here's your awesome skate blade. And then it's just right up against the boards. And so any puck that hits it, it gets stopped by your skate. And you can guide that out to your blade. So right here, because you're kind of more in the middle of the ice rather than over here, we're kind of getting into the situation where your back is turned and it's a really tough pass to get to you. One is Kathy's got to get it to your tape, and number two, a little bit of coordination. It's kind of tough. So if she's off the mark, gets it to your feet, because your back's turned, you can't, like, it's basically impossible to shift your stick all the way behind you to receive it. Whereas if you're over here, it's you got a lot more room for error, would be my explanation. And so you see how it's Kathy sees your back the entire time, and so it's really tough pass to get to Janice. Oh, here's a clip of banana peels. And obviously a slight trip. So Fiona puts herself in a pretty awkward position with that stop. Backwards snowplow, and understandably trying to protect the puck, perfectly fine. Fortunately, there's kind of a stick there and a body there, so she's knocked off balance, flopping around. Got some banana peels, and then it sends it back down low. So here's a big chance coming up. Pass up to Dave. Got a breakaway chance. Forehand, backhand. Oh, big pad save. That was pretty That was pretty monstrous by the Red Wings goalie right there. Fionn comes down, uses the power of the red tape, causes 32 and number 4 to collide. Boom! Setting a pick. Passes it to Justin. Couple hooks from James right here. A little bit of a fight, and then ooh, ugly. So let's do some detective work. What's going on? Let's do freeze frame one by one. A little bit of a hook right there. A little bit of hook. Justin's definitely fighting it through. Turns around, loses the puck, and then falls into the corner. It looked like, so at this point, I was just hopping on the ice, and same with Ernest. Got a pretty good view from it. From our perspective, it looked like a push from behind into the boards. It wasn't great. And then, unfortunately, Justin gets right up into his face, asking how fresh his breath is, telling him if there wasn't any cages, they'd share their love for each other by smooching. And so he gets called for, I guess, retaliation or something like that. Now, Justin is understandably upset. I think if you just got up and said, hey, what was that? What's your problem? It would have been fine. James would probably be the only one with the penalty. The only problem is when Justin, you went up and you decided, hey, I'm going to need to headbutt you face to face, cage to cage, tell you how much I love you, how beautiful your eyes are, then that is where problems arise. Yeah, 32 kind of separates you. I wanted to get you to, at that point I saw when you did the cage to cage, I thought that might be what sent you. And unfortunately it was. So yeah, I guess you gotta make that decision. I think if you didn't get up to his face and just yelled at him, it would have been fine. But unfortunately, getting up to his face like that is, I'm thinking the refs are going to call it each time. But yeah, it was not pretty. I will grant that. Now, one thing, we can complain all we want about it being dangerous. Yes, this and that. Could we, as players, do anything to protect ourselves better? And I will say yes, of course. So one thing I wanted to identify now, we'll take this penalty out of the equation. So Justin has his legs quite straight, right? You can kind of see it's pretty, he's basically standing, and that causes him to not have the stability to stand, right? And that causes him to fly into the boards. So what can Justin do to make himself more stable along these boards? And that's really going to be down to get a nice good knee bend, as if we're, ideally as if we're sitting in a chair. Now, a lot of us, it's painful. We're not quite as fit as when we were younger, this and that, old bodies, blah blah blah. And the other thing is we got to get a nice wide stance. And we can see right here, Justin's stance, not the widest, right? Pretty narrow, and that causes him to boop right into the boards. And so if we ever find ourselves in a board battle like this, what can we do to protect ourselves to prevent these kind of risks? Is being stronger in our skates, and then just putting ourselves in a more advantageous body position. So it's going to be a wide stance, bend your knees, get down low and strong, and then this way you won't put yourself in a dangerous position. You'll be nice and stable. Any shoves, this and that, incidental body contacts, you won't go flying in the boards. And so that's how we can protect ourselves as players from plays like this. But then, obviously this is not ideal, and yeah, it's a penalty. So I thought this shift in general was pretty darn funny. I'll explain it as we go along. Okay, I don't know if you guys can hear this. Here, let me just boost the volume up. Get a whistle. So at this point, so Justin and James have been sitting in the box for a while, and Justin's like, "Get a whistle! Get a whistle!" I think at this point, because my line went on. It was about like a minute 30, and then now Kathy, Ray, Janice, their line has been on maybe 30 seconds so far, about a minute now. So they're sitting in there until, and they can't come out because it's 5-on-5 until the whistle blows. So, but you know, at the same time, there's some good parts of this shift and some bad parts. Well, let's just kind of watch it through, and I'll nitpick as we go along. So some couple things right here. So good rush for Fionn. Get a whistle. Force pass. Too much traffic, I think. You can see right here, 1 person, 2, 3, 4, shadowing Kathy. Questionable pass. I think the nice little curl here is probably the play. Get a little reset going on, get everyone in position. Maybe, I don't know. We're optimistic. We'll call this an optimistic play to get to Kathy. Get Janice a shot on net. Okay, and then right here, I think we were able to turn over, gather that up. So good that the positioning here brings it to the middle, and I see gets it down to Kathy. Right. Okay, one of the things, Ray, if you're kind of confused what to do right here, and Kathy is kind of moving this way, is number one, you could opt to go to magic spot. Magic spot's always good. Or number two, you can always kind of come in behind the net too and say, "Hey Kathy, I'm behind you," and she can send it over to you, and then you can bring it back to the left side. I can see you're floating high a lot, and that's also part of the, like, Ernest and Fee have kind of really compressed down into the zone, which is not necessarily a bad thing. It can be done because the Red Wings are so tight, and that allows our D to come in closer. So not necessarily a bad thing. Oh, kind of, there goes Justin yelling again, get a whistle. Good forechecking pressure there by Ray. Bring it across, I like it. Get it down. See, I didn't like that stop up right there. I think you had room to continue, but if you're gonna do that, it's probably time to send it down low for Kathy, and she can hustle down to get that. And I think you lose it here. Yeah, it wasn't great. You fall down. So some bad, but Fionn was able to stop the play dead and then identifies that backdoor play. So defensively we're okay. Now shift's hitting at about the 2-minute mark here. So it is also a pretty long shift, and I think we're hemmed in the zone. So 32 now is trying to channel his inner Ray. Backhand pass, a little forced backhand pass. Just gets it, tries to clear it, couldn't quite clear it. Hannah has the puck, shot down on net. Justin yelling, get a whistle one more time. Ice it. You definitely should have iced it there, Kathy. It's been a long shift now. We're hitting the 3-minute mark just right now. I I gotta laugh. Justin, yeah, I don't know, Justin. If you want to go cage on cage, I guess this is the consequences. So now we got a whole line change. Kathy goes off. So we've just hit a little bit over. Yeah, it was a little bit of a long shift, but we're hemmed in the zone. And then Alex is on. A little scrambly going on here. Get a whistle. The best part is I can hear all this. I don't know if I have the volume loud enough for you guys to hear it. Nice. Something, okay, I'll rewind in a bit. I want to keep watching this right now because our zone time is pretty good right now. Ooh, 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 this looks good. Oh, that was a sweet, like that try from Jess, bringing it across like that. That was a good chance. And then whoever's defending Alex, one of the things I want to suggest to, actually, let me rewind. I wanted to point something out about Jess a little bit earlier. Okay, so let's pause it right here. 26. One of the things I notice about Jess is you like to roam the so whenever it's on your side that you're playing, so your left wing, I do notice that you float up and down the ice quite well. Now when the puck starts moving to the right hand side, one of the things I notice is you tend to only stick around this area. Whereas I think if you I want you to mix up where you skate in the ice. So maybe not applicable to this current shift, but I tend to notice that you tend to stay on the back door by the net like this, or behind the net. Now the behind the net's good, but you never, let's say when it's on the opposite side of where you're playing on the left hand, like right hand side, I never see you gravitate more in the high slot area where you can get a lot of dangerous chances, and you have a pretty good shot. So I think if you start mixing that into your repertoire, and it's going to take practice of finding the right timing and all that, but I think I would recommend you mixing that into your play style, just to get more chances. And then this kind of leads to this next equation where we think you had that kind of nice chance behind the net, and Alex, you're fighting for a position there, and their player is doing a pretty darn good job of covering you. And what I would like to suggest for you, the moment you get your stick tied up, dip away, like literally skate away, and maybe even touch this red line, and then come back in. And this 37 guy is going to be like, oh shoot, this guy is running away, I don't need to cover him anymore. And that's when you sneak in when they least suspect it. They don't know where you are, and then you can bang home shots and rebounds. So you're going to have to do it quickly, but that's a really easy way to get away if you feel like they're really covering you. Let's continue. It's a long clip. Oh, sick pass. Good try getting it to Jess back there. Oh, big pizza by them. How did that? He tried to clear it straight up the middle. Huh? Fanned it right to Dave. Oh, rebound. Alex almost gets it. Big save by their goalie. And Justin's cheering for his life because now he can finally come out and play. I think he was sitting in the box for 7 minutes. That's so funny. Yeah, man, Justin, you know, sometimes if you just bite your lip a little bit, I mean, like, I know you're upset. I know you're upset and we understand it. But if you bite your lip a little bit, then you don't need to sit in the box. So this is the price you got to pay if you want to show them that you're not a pushover, or you can just turn the other cheek and you can play some hockey. All right, this was a hilarious conversation. So earlier in the shift, there's this player that was chasing a red tape. I think it was Fiona Carrian behind their net, and they had the puck. And yes, within the rules, it's between red line to red line that you can't touch the red tape. And if you want to, you could put pressure on the red tape. It's kind of discretion. If you see a super beginner, kind of let them go. If you see Carrion or Fiona, fine, you know, they can put some pressure on you. So he was asking, oh, where is it? And then they were discussing, oh, it's between red line to red line. It's like, oh, I thought it was this line to this line. And he said, oh, and then aren't you allowed to touch the red tapes below this line? And the ref's like, yes, as far as I understand, you can. And then the three of us were like, well, it's just kind of discretionary. It's up to, like, you just kind of got to make your decision. If you want to play right to the rules, then you can take the puck off. It's kind of gauge how the red tapes are. So we had this big discussion, and the best part is they clear the puck. Fiona has it. This guy number 32 tries to take the puck off of Fiona, and he was in the discussion too. And so that was hilarious. It was like within 3 seconds we were all just huddled around the ref talking about it, and he gets the fucking puck off a red tape penalty. All right, so let's watch our power play. So our first proper power play shot there, try shot attempt by Justin, and like we said, discretion. This player's, I would say, is one of the weaker red tapes. So we're below the red line. We could take it off her. It's well within our right to do that. But you know, let's give her some space. It's whatever, and then send in Fiona. Officer Fiona can go enact some the law. Yeah. Right here, I wish, Ernest, you just had a little patience here. Make sure it's a good tape-to-tape pass rather than just hammering it like that. I'm not sure if that was for Janice, but definitely way off the mark. And I haven't quite gotten ready myself either. So a little patience. Skate it up yourself if you really need to. We're on a power play, so let's continue. Yeah, right into, got a little fancy there. Alright, what do you got now, Ernest? Let's see. Pass up to, off the mark. Off the mark. We're on the power play. Red tape has the puck. And now we're coming into the zone. Oh, Fiona's shot was so powerful. She took out James's leg. Watch this. Boom! This guy took out his legs. He took out number 20. Hold on. I didn't even see. Just she's a wrecking ball, killing everybody. Oh fuck, that was a bad trip. So James comes up, has his leg behind Justin's foot, and it gets in front. So that's a slew foot. I would argue this is more dangerous than the boarding penalty. And the reason is, with the boarding penalty, I was talking about how there are things that we can do as players to protect ourselves a bit better, being stable, getting low, wide stance, bending our knees, etc. Right? With a slew foot, this one's a tough one because their foot is behind our legs, so Justin's legs right now, and then his body is in front of Justin. So there's really only way he can fall is going to be backwards. So it's really tough to get to protect ourselves for that, and rightfully so. It's a penalty. So yeah, that's a tough one. Pass to Ernest, completely fans on it, man. He went so hard. Probably if Justin were going to fall over one more time. My goodness. Passes it down. Ray jumps on the ice. Delayed penalty. We got an extra skater on. Ernest gets it. Passes it down to Justin. Good read here by Ray on that cut in. Good goal. That's good passing right there. So we're up 1-0 here on a power play and a delayed penalty, which I think in this league, delayed penalties are still called penalties. Unlike the NHL where if you score, it negates it. So interesting. Alright, so second power play, I think this is the James tripping penalty. Jess powers in. Tries for a shot. I don't mind it. Let's check out the rest of this power play. Ooh. Sends it back down low. Probably a mistake. Hard to say. Jess and number 22 battling hard. You know what? She's a small lady, so she's trying to put a lot of muscle to outstrength Jess here. Alright, send Peerdos. What the fuck is there? Banana peel? What happened here? Alright. Face off win. I believe. Yeah, bounced a little funny. Got to Thomas. Let's see. Bounces it up. Oh, 32's got it. Killing time. Killing time. Yeah. Alright. Oh, that's a good move by him. I'll give him that. Power play, passes it across the ice. Alright. Cuts to the middle, cuts wide. 45 seconds left on this power play. Passes it back to Ray. Totally fine. Work those perimeter. To Jess. Ah, you know what? I don't mind that. Good try. That looked open for a second. Okay, so one thing I want to point out right here for Jess, you were in a really good spot right here. The mistake is you went from an excellent spot right here. Excellent, absolutely. This would be a simple pass for Kathy to get to you. One timer, good chance right there. Is you cruised away. You went from an excellent spot to now it's covered. So that's I would say a mistake on Jess's part, and then that forces that to hit the foot. So yeah, I think right there, Jess, you were in an excellent spot, picture perfect, and then you kind of moved away from it. Ray settles it down. One of the things you can definitely consider, Ray, bring it behind the net. You know what? That's exactly what you should have done. And what you can also do is wave. Just tell Thomas, hey, come get it, and then put it there and then leave it and then go for the change. But Fionn came down and then you pass it here, so that's perfect. That's fine. That's exactly what you kind of want to see, and she brings it behind the net. Perfect. rest of the players are coming in for a change. Yeah, great. And then, so let's continue. We're still a bit of on a power play here. I don't like the positioning here by Justin. And let's point out, so you can see Janice is in front of you, and she's going to occupy that net front. So that means, Justin, you got to get into position to help out Fionn instantly. And watching the pathing of Fionn, this is it. You got to get to that half wall to help her out. What are you going to do net front? And if you were here, you could probably have a good chance of gathering that puck. So I would say that is a positional mistake. Backdoor, oh, that's so offside. How did they not call that? That's like 10 miles. That's 1,000 miles offside. All right, whatever. Good recovery by Dave. Let's continue until we see the next whistle. Dave coming up. Goes to carry it into the zone. Oh, able to get it past Hannah. James rims it across for their red tape. Oh. Still going. No whistles these days. Alright, bring it back. Sends it. Ugh. I'll just end it here. Turnover. But yeah, nothing too exciting on the power play on the second one. Had a couple chances, so some thoughts there. All right. Ernest passes it up to Justin, hits a skate, but we see again Justin's able to skate it in. And because he starts skating in, some chances are generated, and Ernest shoots the puck and scores a goal. Excellent. Excellent. And I said when we saw Ernest score his first goal of the season that this is a good luck charm for the rest of our season. So it's a good outlook. Alright, so this is the play that Jess got so upset about. It's kind of funny. So she said 22 pushed her. I think, you know, let's freeze frame it. Let's do our Sherlock Holmes detective skills. So they're both going towards it, and she definitely interferes with you. A little bit of a hook. I don't know if it's a push, but definitely hooked, right? You can see how Jess's stick gets completely dragged across, and then which causes her to lose balance, right? And now she's really off balance, and you still have the fucking the tenacity to go for, like, your stick's all the way up here, able to stop the play. Excellent. And then stops the play down, and you do like this whole tornado twist, breakdowns and move, takes out yourself, takes out her, and you know, they're probably like, this fucking 98 is such a dirty player. This 44 is like, why would she come and tackle me like that? But lo and behold, it was actually their teammate number 22 that hooked you. I think it was more of a hook than a push. Probably a penalty, not great. And yeah, it was a pretty big spill. Boom. Did you bonk your head too? I hope not. It was a pretty gnarly spill. Oh my god, look at that whip. Gonna need to get a mouth guard, Jess. Jeez. Well, yeah, that was pretty gnarly. So we're on a breakout right here. Perfectly fine, nice and clean. I think, Jess, if you're able to take that width, so basically lose this defender, is something we can try to consider. You're a bit ahead, and I think because of that, I saw this player, I saw that player, that wasn't a good option, and I got it to Alex. And one of the things I want to perhaps suggest to Alex that he can mix up in his gameplay is, and I've noticed throughout this game, is he likes to he stays in his lane. And I think there are some opportunities where he can mix it up, cut to the middle a little bit. And I think this is one of them, possibly. Hard to say. It's kind of, you know, every situation depends. But here's one. I think there is where if you're ahead, your next step is also like you can look for where the pass is coming, but also look where you're going to be going next, whether you need to cut to the middle to split in between these two defenders, and change the speed, modulate, slow down, come to a stop, this and that. I think that's also going to be another element to for Alex to elevate his game. And I might be able to find some more examples later on in the game, but I did notice this. You're a very, very straight line. You really stick to your right wing the entire way. Sometimes it's, you know, it's necessary to mix it up. All right, so right after this, Hannah rims it across. Excellent read by Jess to stop it along the boards like that. And here's a perfect example by a Red Wings player where I said, at the bare minimum, this red line, but if we can get lower, it's usually better. And why? Perfect example. A forechecker that's able to read the play quickly, in this case, Jess read it perfectly. If they intercept that because they're lower than you, it's a turnover, right? So, perfect example by the Red Wings on why I have suggested in the past where the wingers come in down low. So let's continue. We quickly form a triangle. Perfect positioning by Alex. Gets it right into that corner, and then here I'm filling out that last position, and I'm trying to sneak in there. One of the things I think we're going to try to elevate Alex's game even more. We've outlined two things. Now the third thing is one of the things that Alex does is he stands stills before sending a pass a lot. So you can see he gathers it, stand still, and then he passes it up. One of the things he will be like, if you can elevate that game, is if you can sidestep, boom, crossover, and then pass, or even just do a little quick move, left, right, just to change the angle a little bit, add a little deception is going to add a next level to your game. It's nothing is easy, of course, it all takes practice, but I think these are things that certainly Alex and everyone else can definitely work on. All right, quick roast on Kathy right here. She does nice tight turn, clear lane to tape pass right to Ray. And what does she do instead? She decides to make life difficult for Ray, bounces it off the board, so it's a much harder pass to receive rather than a nice clean tape to tape. And thus what happens, because it's by the Zamboni doors, ice all rough, it's not nice, bouncing all over the place, bouncing off the boards, and then Ray has a tough time handling it, turnover. And here comes Fee, she's coming up the ice, and big trip. How is that? Oh, is that a penalty? It is a penalty. Big trip by, it was Hum, yeah, Lady Hum. Big tripping penalty, and I think we get the extra man. Justin Kopp's on the ice, and we'll give him the extra ice time because he sat in the box for 7 minutes. Let me imitate him one more time. Get a whistle. Passes to Justin, sends it across, one-timer chance. Good chance right there, and goes for a whistle. So we did notice there's a bit of a slash on Jess from the bench. Let's do a little freeze frame. So they drop the puck. They're battling stick on stick. They're just using all the strength in the world. Jess able to lift it up, and I think, yeah, it didn't. That lift, it's a stick lift, I think, is what got. Luckily we have good old elbow pads and gloves, but from what Andrew said on the bench, it looked like a big slash. I didn't quite see it personally, but definitely looked like they had a good little battle there. But all right, this shift, Jess comes in. I think another Here's that's example from last week where she's skating towards the defender. Gotta mix it up, gotta go around them, whether it's on the inside, on the outside, but gotta make that time. You're really going straight at them. Any other team other than, like, this is Hana, gives the space completely. We're facing the Ducks next week. They're gonna give you no mercy. All those defenders, they play at the limit. Once you pass that red line, poke checks galore. So something to watch out for. Now we got our heavy forechecking line. Even Thomas is joining in on the action. Oh yeah, this is power play. What am I thinking here? Some good chances right there. Yeah, Thomas can totally come down and play aggressive. In that case, like where our other defenseman comes in, Carrie-Anne can certainly come in, occupy that middle, and then you can skate right and left. Something to think about, you don't have to stay on the left-hand side, especially on the power play. So we'll send it back down low. We got a minute left. Thomas got it. Same thing for Thomas. He loads up for a shot. Certainly, I think, room to move to the middle, even in this slot area, to get a better shot. But let's continue. Shot block. Dave's got it. Bounces across the chest. Cool. What does she do? Backhand pass to Justin. Almost. Couldn't quite get it. Yeah, this line's a very crease-heavy line. We really like to crowd the crease. I don't know if that's my favorite way, but it can certainly work. The net crashing style. Ooh, big turnover. Yeah, I think we're playing a lot of, we're still playing on a lot of 5-on-5 style hockey right here when we're on the power play, rather than setting up in the zone. So we're really forcing passes through the crease rather than kind of settling it down, getting better angles, and eventually the power play ends. So yeah, I think sometimes we've got to switch that mode. I know it's tough to do that sometimes, but yeah. Alright, this shift right here, the Kathy, Ray, and Janice forward line. Hold on a second, why is Fiona up there? Is Ray playing D? Okay. Okay, let's just assume Ray is playing D and Fiona traded with Ray. Okay. So Ray gets the puck, and not a single forward gets to a supporting position. What is going on? What happened? You guys were so good in the first two periods, and now you just forget? You just forget? What is this? I mean, you guys are forming a cool triangle, but in the wrong spot. Ugly, and send it back down low, and nobody's able to get it because why? Nobody's in a support position. I'm just shaking my head over here behind the screen. And then just to rip on Ray a little bit, right here, falling into old habits is right here. You see how you gotta give that body language that you might shoot. There's a possibility that you might shoot. Whether it's gonna be looking at the net, doing like a load up, a fake shot, lift a leg, skate to the middle a little bit, any form of deception where you're gonna be like, hey, I might shoot right here, but bad habit where he's coming in and he ends up cruising wider and wider and wider and wider and deeper, where it becomes more and more obvious he's not going to shoot, and it's pass all the way. And so very easy to read. Now it's fortunate that he kind of ends up being able to get that puck and turns around for a shot. But here's an example of Ray defaulting back to bad habits of, there's not he's not telegraphing that, hey, you should be careful of me. I might do something funky here. But on the other hand, because you already scored, it becomes a little harder to telegraph that if they're paying attention. So here's the shift. I believe our third goal is scored here. Pass down to Justin. Jess gets it. Backhand, powerful shot. Dave shoots, and eventually it goes in. I don't quite recall. Apparently it was Dave's goal. Let's do our detective work. Backhand shot, and it trickles in, and Justin's inside the crease, crashing, diving, and he said he didn't touch it, so it is Dave's goal. Watch it one more time. And that is Dave's goal. Alright, so here are the events leading up to Justin's second penalty. We gotta do our Sherlock Holmes investigation. Gotta figure out what happened. Not quite sure. Some conversations going on there. Not sure what happened. Shot on net. And then a shove. And then Justin is complaining to the ref about something. Okay. Let's rewind a little bit more. So stick lift and dumps it in. Loose puck. 37 gets body positioning. Stick lift. Okay. Loose puck. Justin tries to whack it to Jess. Couldn't quite do it. Okay. Board battle. Sends it across. And then he tries to stop him. Okay. And then some shoving and stuff going on here. Okay. And then pass gets up to Justin. Shot. And he's trying to stick lift. Okay. And you turn into his shoulder. I mean, that looks pretty... I don't think that looks purposeful, to be honest. And then you pushed him. Yeah, I don't know. I will agree that the James penalties were not good, but this one I don't see much here, to be fair. And unfortunately Alex does not get to see the ice again. Alright, penalty kill. Number 32 tries to shoot the puck. He had a lot of power on it. He asked me if that was okay. I'm like, yeah, that's within your right. You want to try to shoot it? No problem. And 32 seconds left. Again, we're just trying to make life difficult for them. First thought, way too conservative for Fiona and Ernest, but that's okay. Shot on Cliff. Ernest goes for it, and I saw him retreat back, so I thought I'll fill in. And remember, our key aspects ultimately is we want to put a little bit of pressure on the puck carrier, just a little bit. We don't need to, like, we're not going to be diving in, we're just making life a little bit tough for them. And then ultimately we want to make sure any pucks that get into this area is we're making it difficult for them to shoot. So this would probably mean, Janice, you just come in a little bit, get in front of this player, just make his life harder. If you can't do it, it's fine. And then I think right here, Ernest comes back, ultimately is the goal once we switch off. So if Ernest was staying there and able to keep pressure, it would be my job to stay here and protect this zone. And then, like I said, Janice comes over here, we'll be fine. And then because Ernest switches off, then I come in. And I think the mistake here is there's a pass that ultimately feeds through, and this player is left alone, and that would probably be Janice's coverage. And unfortunately, he gets a chance to shoot. So that kind of sucks with the last couple seconds left. That was like probably 20 seconds left, and Cliff does not get his shutout. And you can see his angry stick tap on the goalpost. Let's do it one more time. Look at his anger. Look at this. He turns into the Hulk. That's why we wear green. He's like, fuck this shit. I wanted my shutout. Somebody owes me chicken wings upstairs. And that is the end of the game. Oh, so it was like the last 5 seconds. Damn, that sucks. Yeah, that's it. That's disappointing. Anyways, ended up winning 3-1. We couldn't get the shutout for Cliff. I thought the game was it was fine until we hit the second period. Got a little eventful. Yeah, I'll leave it like that. Nonetheless, we got one more game for the VHL season, and I think there's a mixed game after that, and then I think that's it for the season. So, guten Game.